Namaste, and welcome to our continuing series, Interviews with Disciples and Devotees. And today I'm honored to have Priti with us. Priti, please share some of your early years background you say you are a devotee of Krishna, disciple of Krishna, your family and
Yeah, so I am from the western part of the country, uh, Mumbai and Ahmedabad. I grew up in both the cities, and my family is a traditional Rajasthani family who has very traditional values. And yes, there is a bhakti of Krishna um, in the family.
oh,
There is a devotional element in the family, especially with my grandmother, whom I really looked up to, and so much so that she's a devotee of, she's still alive, and she's a devotee of not only Krishna but also Hanuman. And I would be like a young child, I would be going out for walks with her, and it is a very strong memory that um, there is I am Ahmedabad so I live just next to that place, that educational institution. So we used to go for our evening walks. It has a beautiful neem grove we used to pass by, and a lot of monkeys and all used to inhabit that place. And once when we were walking, a big langur actually came and like just sat in front of us, and I was a little taken aback. I was a teenager, and I was like, come, let's just let's change our direction. She just calmly touched my hand, and she said, just relax. And she actually did, what we call in Indian terms, she did a Shashwat pranam. And
to him.
yeah,
Yes,
she
yes.
prostrated on the whole floor on the road there. And the monkey, in a minute or two, just simply just went away. And that was a very profound influence. While growing up, her influence was very much there, the devotional impact. And although I used to feel sometimes that it's getting a little too much, because the knowledge aspect wasn't there, that why should I be doing this devotion? But there was a presence, there was a beautiful presence in the house, and which is still there.
And did you feel it was the presence of Krishna?
Yes,
You did.
Krishna, yeah, and it is the more than the presence of Krishna, it was the presence of bhakti, the element of bhakti, which was very much in her, which translated into a lot of things in the house. And I did not have much to say about my parents, but my grandparents, both of them, did have a very profound influence on me.
Can you tell me a little bit about your schooling and your studies and maybe your creative aspect
Yeah.
also?
So I have grown up in mostly in Ahmedabad, and I was a girl who was very interested in arts, in fine arts. I was attracted both towards the sciences and the arts, and I had a natural a good hand at drawing, and pursued fine arts on my own. I had a beautiful teacher, a drawing teacher, who would come to my house, and we would just go, like the old days, we would just go out and do landscape painting and all of that. Like she introduced me to a very different way of how people learn art. Otherwise, I would not like to copy art or do all of that. And she introduced me to the great masters, the European masters, and to Indian artists. And it was a very great learning from that lady teacher that I had. And it again had a very, it opened up the world of nature and art to me.
Did you study Western art also?
Western?
Western art?
Yeah. Vincent
see.
van Gogh is more my mentor. Like I used to actually look up to him. And I eventually got admission in University of Baroda, the Fine Art faculty there. And I didn't know that it was Sri Aurobindo. At that time, I had no clue about Sri Aurobindo and the mother, and that Sri Aurobindo had touched that university. He was the vice principal of that university.
I've been there.
Yeah, and but hailing from a traditional family, my grandfather, whom I actually looked up to, thought that I would turn out into a hippie, because for them the world of fine art were like, inhabited by hippies who smoke and drink, and which is a kind of a truth in its outer form.
Yes.
But he was very he was like, like in Hindi we say हमारे घर की लड़कियां ऐसा नहीं करती. So he didn't. In fact, the faculty there, I'm not going to be boasting about it, but they said I was 21 and I had given an entrance exam, and I had stood first in that. And they said that,
Oh.
uh, why don't you're already 21, and why don't you just do the fourth year of the bachelorette program? Because I was already a bachelorette in commerce. So, and then we don't allow this, but we'll do that as like a special case for you, and then you can join our master's program.
Oh.
So I just had to do that last year of the bachelorette program, and then of the fine arts, BFA, and then do an MFA. But it was not to happen. So, but I was a rebel in a way, and I didn't give up. And I joined the Kanoria Center of Arts. We have a lot of art institutions in Ahmedabad, the National Institute of Design, and the Center for Environmental Planning and Technology. And there was studios there, and I had a lot of friends who were in all of these institutes. And so I joined the Kanoria Center for Arts, started practice. I was pursuing my chartered accountancy too, because everybody at home wanted me to do something in business, because I hail from a traditional Marwari business family, and I was good in that too. And but and then I would slip out and I would go to the studios and I would practice. So I would do half day that and I would do half day that and practice in the studios. So I did that for 3 years, and and then I slipped away to Mumbai, and I thought that maybe I want to do maybe do something there too. So I joined the animation studios there. That was my first exposure to animation. And I didn't know, but actually Suresh also was at the same animation studios which I had joined long back. It was the Ram Mohan.
Did you like it?
I loved it. I used to live in South Mumbai, and I would catch the bus and every day go like a proper, young girl. I was just 23, and and I learned all the techniques of animation. And it was a typical, animation studio full of artists, buzzing with a lot of work. And the Ram Mohan Studios, which is famous for its the animation movie which they created, The Legend of Prince Rama. It was in collaboration with the Japanese studios. First time India did cell animation, and a very beautiful project. And so I wasn't a part of that project, but I was very proud to be a part of that studio where I learned a lot. But then I also realized that animation was not my thing. And that's it. So I said, I think I was there for 6 months. I learned all the techniques of animation, the principles of animation. And but it was a great experience. And then I moved back to Ahmedabad. And somehow spirituality touched my lap at that time. And that's when a lot of things started changing for me. For me, art also started, in the sense, becoming a little less important.
And when did Krishna come into
That's
you?
when. So,
I thought
yeah.
so.
So that's when it was at the age of 24 and a half, 25. I met my guru, whom, and he is a sannyasi, and but it was uh, but there was something so there was something. It was not impression, or he was not impressive or spectacular or anything of those kind of things which we see in the surface, but there was that presence, such a strong presence. And he had the capacity to totally quieten my mind. So I felt so quiet next to him, and which I do every time I meet him now also. And so that also had a very profound influence on me, that how just by being someone, by their very presence, can quieten other people's minds. And uh, and also um, he touched me. I did not know at that time, but he touched me somewhere here. And that is when a lot of things started opening up to me, which I never knew about myself. And my interest in reading the Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishads. And I became madly in love with God. And for it was like for and with my guru also, I wanted to serve him, just like how I read the books of Champaklal ji, and how they used to serve their guru from morning to night. I would be with my guru. I learned everything. I did not know how to sweep a room also. I've never done it in my own house, never cooked for anybody like that. He is a Bengali, so I learned how to
Oh,
cook all vegetarian Bengali uh, dishes. I I did not like cooking at all, and never even went into the kitchen as teenagers. Not really needed, and there was always a cook in the house. So, uh, but here I wanted to do. I understood what the love was, and I this love was very different than all the teenage love that you feel for a boyfriend or
yes.
something. And I just wanted to be in his presence all the time. So,
And
and
you were 24 at this time?
25, I had just turned 25,
25.
yeah. And that is when I said that I just wanted to be with him. I was madly in love. And that's when, so madly in love with the divine. And it lasted for 2 years. It was like quite a journey. And
So then what did you do after that?
I almost left everything else. I left my chartered accountancy. Um, my guru told me, no, do not leave it. But I did not even listen to him in so many things. I said that no, but if you are there in town and I cannot be going to office at that same time, I have to leave everything. So I was not able to stay. So everything would just fall. Mm, it would just stop being meaningful. So I would just leave everything, and I would just be wanting to be with him, just serve him, listen to whatever he is saying. And those things were more important to me. And it was a very beautiful years in my life.
But it lasted 2 years.
Yes, two
And
solid years. I followed him everywhere. My family would get upset, and so many things were happening. But like I would just not listen. That was like, it was like a beautiful call, and I would just want to be with his presence, because I wanted to that silence, and it was not only the silence. It was the quietude along with love. His compassion and his love was immense. That and like everybody would say that she's such a young girl. People talk about these things,
sure, sure.
but he made me feel very complete. And I did not know that I was capable of the love of God. I really did not know till then. Yes, as I told you, my family was religious, and I had seen the presence, and I had felt it in my house with my grandmother, but that was it. But this was very strong.
When did you come in touch with Sri Aurobindo and Mother?
So this was, as I told you, I had attended Shraddhaluda's one
Right?
talk in Mumbai. This was
Mo-
when I was 28 or 29. And I used to be going to this one yoga classes where there were the same photographs, I think, of Jahangir Palkiwala in Mumbai.
Oh, I know them
Yeah.
very well.
Yes, I did not know, but that they were such great devotees of the Mother and Sri Aurobindo, but I loved him. I've always done yogasanas since I was in the seventh grade. And the physical is, I come from a family which is a cricketing family, and we're very much into sport also. So my grandfather played for the Ranji Trophy, and things like that. So all sports was there in my family. So I've been a sporty girl. So and then I had gone into yogasanas. And so with Jahangir, I realized that he was a very different yogasana teacher.
Jahangir is, yes. I interviewed him,
Yeah. So he's
and his wife,
yeah, and they're very integral,
very much.
and the way he began his yoga classes, and it was very different. So, but till then, still I had not read anything about Sri Aurobindo and the mother. I was very much seeped into the traditional scriptures, reading the Upanishads, and doing whatever my guru had told me to do. So at least 7 to 8 hours of sadhana every day I would do. Staying in Mumbai also for 4 years, I had married also, but I would not be doing anything else. I would be just doing that, and maybe a little bit looking after my house. That's it. And then we moved to Delhi. That's when I had a cousin who was volunteering in Mirambika in the Delhi ashram. And she told me that I also used to do a lot of Bal Vihar classes, like teaching shlokas and telling the children stories about our culture. So in the evenings, I would be doing that, and also a little bit of painting. So she told me that maybe Mirambika would love to have someone like you. So she introduced me to the principal, and they said they needed an art teacher, and they would love an art teacher without degrees. So there I was, because I didn't have a fine art degree. And I was the art teacher of Mirambika. That's it. So that's when I walked. It was 2006 when I walked into the Delhi ashram, and it was the place. I said, "Wow, this is like an oasis in Delhi."
And you met Tara at that time.
Yes, I met Taradi, and Taradi was like, she was like, "You come and be with me. Why are you in Mirambika?" So she said, I need someone to complete my book, which the Learning with the Mother. Uh,
Yes.
so she'd already done the book Growing with the Mother, and Learning with the Mother was just not happening. So she said it started with mother telling me to do it, because they had compiled Andreda, and she had compiled a very small version in French. That was in 1973. And mother had told her that you must complete this book of how the French classes started in the ashram. So how did French begin, in the ashram with the little children, the green group children. So that book was not happening. So then Tara Didi was trying a lot, because she couldn't find anybody who could stick to her project of helping her, and she's a very busy woman. So she found me, and she said, "Why don't you just come and you be in Mirambika for some time, and you come here also?" So that was my real touch with someone who had been with the mother. And it actually elongated to a year, where I sat and very quietly compiled everything, and it was really great, because she gave me all those old notes made by Mrityunjay Da, and all of those notes in the classroom, and I had to find out the dates and all of that. So, and visit the archives, and stuff like that. So I was like, it opened a whole new world of the ashram here.
So
And it
you
was,
created the book?
yeah, with of course Tara, it was Tara Didi.
Yeah, of
So I would
course.
record her. I would
Yes.
on her Apple mobile. I would record her. What she would just from her memory, she would tell all the stories and everything, and then after that, I would transcribe it, and that's how the living presence of mother started enveloping me, and I actually saw how I saw the love of, again, I saw the love of Tara Didi, how she would just say, "Come into my room," and then she would just leave the room open. And she would leave tea for me, and all of chocolates and biscuits and things like that. And then, as far as I worked, she just gave me everything. She gave me a MacBook, and she was not fussy about, "Oh, what are you doing with my computer or with my room?" I could just roam around in her room anywhere. And what did I see in her room? There was such simplicity. There was just this beautiful picture of herself and the mother, and that's it. And books, and I was amazed at at her. at her discipline, at the way she commands things, and at her simplicity. So and the stories of mother and the ashram actually started enveloping me. So I thought I felt very blessed. I really felt very blessed, and I started falling in love with the mother too, but not really that much. Still, there was something still missing. I had a child then, and she was also in Mirambika. She was studying there,
Oh,
and it was when my child was around 4 years that we visited Pondicherry as a family. And, in her summer vacation, she was already in Mirambika. And she we were just going around she was not even allowed to go inside the ashram because she was 4 years old. And we were just going around the town, like, these roads, walking down the roads, and she pointed out these gray buildings, and she said, I want to be here one day.
oh,
And that's when we took a decision that we must come here. So we started applying for her admission to the ashram school when she was, we missed that year, so from the age of 5, we started applying
oh.
to the ashram school.
Did she get in?
Yes, she got in when she was 10, after 5 years. But I think it was the right time when she got in. And maybe mother wanted me to really understand her. I was full-time teaching in Mirambika. From morning to evening, both daughter and myself, I would go to Mirambika. And I started understanding what is integral education and how to be with a child. I did not know anything. Traditional spirituality did not teach me all of this. It taught me how to understand God or the divinity. It is like that. But the part of this was not discovered by me. And so I started discovering the world through Mirambika, through the world of integral education. And then I think it was when it was the right time. I had a beautiful experience in Pondicherry. I was volunteering in the dining hall. And just before my daughter got admission, I did not even know that she's got admission. It was the month of May. In the summer vacations, we had come down. And as I was wiping the thalis, at the back where people are drying the thalis, and so I had taken up that work. It was as if I was enveloped with that, as if I'm doing my Guru Seva, and there is no difference between my Guru and the mother. Everything almost became one. And there are these big photographs of the mother there. It was as if the whole world had become her. Even my Guru had, just gone into her. So I got that experience, and I knew now that Pondicherry is the place for us. And it was then in July. It was, in fact, on the Guru Purnima day that I came to know that we have got admission here. My daughter got admission here. We have got admission is the right word. I was also admitted.
Wonderful.
And that's how we walked into Pondicherry, 2018, October.
18.
Yeah.
So let's fast forward to your work on the film.
So when, as Shiv Kumar has mentioned, that the idea was seeded in 2020, and then in 2021, the project, it was at mother's birthday that the project was launched. 2021. And I'm working in the same department, right? So in the integral education department. And I was just sitting there, and they were talking. And then he came and shared everything. And I said, I want to be a part of the project because I feel that mother is calling me to be a part of this project. And that's it. And I was a part of the project. And since that day, there were many people who said that, how will, because the project was with a very big film budget. That's what my roles, I actually went into that role of being the taking care of the finance of the film. It was as if mother wanted me to do it. And although art and animation were my forte, of course, I did give feedback, and I was very careful about giving my feedback and all the whenever we had to give for the art. But I think my role was more with the finance, and where I felt, where everybody said that how will we raise 2.6 crores?
Yeah.
It's a big thing. And we did not have we did not want to do this project with the support. Of course, Sri Aurobindo Society, it is under the aegis of Sri Aurobindo Society, but we wanted to do it in a new way. We wanted it with the funds, with the donations of the devotees. But how do we do it? How do we collect money without even showing them anything? Even it was before before the trailer had come.
Before the trailer. Yeah.
Still, we had to still raise 16 lakhs for the trailer. So how do we do that? And it was just, I feel, just praying to her and just letting her take charge of the project. And that's how it started. We just had to pray and something would come. And then once that movement would come, we were very careful that we do not let anybody dominate us. That, supposing anybody has given donation, that, dictate
I
to
want
us.
this, yeah,
I want this,
yeah.
and I. The donations has to be from a very pure, place where there is no demands. So we were very careful of that, and somehow it was the faith that carried us through, the whole team. And we all prayed together. It was a great learning in this project of how the project actually grew very organically. Every Saturday we would have a meeting. Every Saturday since 2.5 years, we've had a meeting, an online meeting, where there are people from Auroville, Manoj and Rahul, and there were people from Hyderabad, Srinivas and Archana, and Shiv Kumar and I were from Pondicherry. We would meet and we would discuss every little detail, and then we would work on it. So back in Pondicherry, in the office, Shiv Kumar and I would work on it, and of course the team would help us in whatever way they could. So, and as the donations started trickling, actually keeping an account of each donation, sending a gratitude email to them, making them feel special was very important. So all those details were all taken care of. And I really think that this project is as if it is her force that is manifesting, as if she wanted to tell the story of Sri Aurobindo, and in her way, where we had to even introduce Huta's paintings to the team, the Studio Exorus, to the way art is done here in the ashram, to the art styles, and how mother wanted a new form and new ways to say things. And this was, so this is where I helped in many ways. In how did I help in introducing them? We introduced them to Huta's paintings and things like that. Yeah.
Did you do any of the artwork on the film?
No. It was Studio Exorus.
Amazing.
It was Studio
Just
Exorus.
amazing. Wonderful, wonderful. Now you live in Pondicherry.
Yes.
Your daughter?
She studies in the ashram school. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Priti.
Yeah.
Namaste.